Damian Lillard is gone. Welcome back to the Cannon Sports Show, ladies and gentlemen. Damian Lillard has officially left the Portland Trail Blazers. Just, I don't even know what to say if I'm being like 100% honest. It's kind of crazy thinking about it. I mean, Dame has been there for just substantial amounts of time. I'm not gonna lie. I saw this. I was in the middle of watching like the Diamondbacks game and the Chelsea game, as you can see up here. So I don't really have a lot planned. I'm just going to kind of wing this. I've been making a bit of a new setup here. I got the new mic, so I'm hoping that this sounds good for you guys. If you guys want to let me know how that is, please. Anyway, I don't want to waste any time. So, Portland Trail Blazers traded guard Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks. So Lillard goes to Milwaukee. Jrue Holiday, Ayton, and Tumani Kamara, and so unprotected first, and then an unprotected swap in 2028 and 2030. All that goes to the Blazers. The Suns get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Before I go into like all these players, as you can probably see up here, I have all the players Suns just acquired. We're gonna be looking at them, talking about them, what their roles might be, all that good stuff. First thing I want to talk about is how the Bucks just absolutely fleeced the Blazers. Like, how do you only trade? I mean, Jrue Holiday is a beast. I won't even lie. I love Jrue Holiday. Grayson Allen, he's a good player too. You can move off of him. How do you only give up one first-round pick and then only a couple like swaps? Did Portland just not value Dame that high? Did the league just not value Dame that high? Because I feel like that's very low. I really do. I really feel like that is not a lot for Damian Lillard. But I don't know. I mean, Dame does have a pretty egregious contract, so I guess it's not like far off to say that it's like a decent trade. I don't know. It's really just going to depend on how the Bucks play and then how Jrue Holiday plays with Portland potentially. So anyway, I'm going to talk about Deandre Ayton when we come over here in a bit. But first of all, I just want to talk about the Suns' new players. So we'll start off here. Keon Johnson. So he's a shooting guard. He was a former first-round pick. He's a solid player. But he's not great. Like, realistically, he was put in this deal as cap filler. I would not be surprised to see the Suns waive him before the season starts. I honestly expect that to happen. It's just a fact. Like, he's probably not gonna be here, and that's okay. Like, he's a solid player, but that's okay. Hopefully he finds a different team. Nasir Little, he's actually pretty solid player. From what I can tell, like, he's gonna play kind of like a small forward role for us. Probably be more depth than anything in that position. Like, he's not really got like a lot, I feel like, to get to this team, considering some of the depth position that we have. But I mean, you can see that throughout his career, shot relatively well from three, decent enough from the field. Like, he just gives us more shooting on the wing, which it's a good thing. So I'm excited with that. I won't talk about Nurkic less. Grayson Allen, everyone's favorite player in the NBA. We all love Grayson Allen, don't we? As much as he is kind of like a menace, and as much as he is kind of like a dickhead, he's a really fucking good player. He plays really hard on defense. You know, he's able to get in people's heads too, which, as much as it is kind of like, you know, a dickhead sort of move that we talked about, it's also a strength of his. And it can help you win games. Affecting the mental of teams is an important thing to do at times. So I'm curious to see how he fits in this team. Realistically, he could end up being a backup shooting guard. It's going to be fun to see how he does. I love, you know, like petty players, so I'm really kind of hoping to see something from him. Yusuf Nurkic, he's obviously the biggest piece the Suns got. He's a really solid player. You know, he finishes well in the paint, 52% from the field last year, 9.1 rebounds, 2.9 assists, So he goes defensive stats here. He can shoot the 3-ball kind of. He shot 36% from 3 last year. That's solid. Eesh, okay. Yeah, he gets offensive rebounds, something that Ayton doesn't know how to do. I'm just kidding. Okay. 0.8 blocks, 0.8 steals. Like, he's decent on the defensive end. I think what the Suns are gambling on is that Yusuf Nurkic is going to be a really good fit, especially in Vogel's scheme. And with Vogel's coaching, he's going to be a solid defensive center. And realistically, they're hoping that he can play his role, get rebounds, defend the paint, slow down the top centers in the league, play pick and roll, dunk the goddamn ball. That's all they really need him to do. He's an experienced player. He's 7 feet tall. He's 290 pounds. Like, he's massive. I think he could be really good in this team. But, again, it's going to take time to actually see this come into fruition. So, moving on. The only thing about this trade I actually really don't like is Toumani Camara going. I actually like Camara a lot. And, oh god, I swear, if he turns out to be, like, really good, I'm going to be very pissed off. But Toumani Camara is a really good player. Okay, really good player, stretch. But he's a solid player, young. I was hoping he could stay, but I understand. You gotta do what you gotta do. Deandre Ayton. I talked a lot about Ayton, especially because, realistically, he was one of the keys to the Suns, being good this year. If he played well, there was no one in the league that could stop the Suns. But I think that's the problem. If he plays well, the Suns would have been good. I feel like the Suns looked at that and they said there is too much of a risk that he turns out to be a crappy player still, and that he still plays with no injury. He still plays with no heart. And if that's the case, the Suns were going to have a hard time winning. Maybe not regular season, but playoff games. And I think mutually, Ayton wanted to go, and the team made the move. Again, you can definitely argue that Nurkic is a better fit for the Suns. You can argue that Nurkic, he's obviously more of a role player, whereas Ayton, despite maybe not having the stats, he wants to be a star player. Like, he wants the ball. He wants to be involved in the offense, and he wasn't going to be. We have Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. Ayton was not going to be involved in the offense. I feel like I've already talked a little bit about this with some people, but like Ayton had a really high defensive ceiling, but at the same time, very, very low defensive floor. And I think the Suns were worried that come playoff time, he was going to be close to that floor. Statistically, he was like the worst player in the playoffs. That's bad. The fact that we got anything for him is kind of insane. It sucks to see him go because I do feel like Ayton could have been good, but I'm not gonna lie. Not having to worry, not having to deal with that risk of DeAndre Ayton, getting fucking pissed off or whatever on the sidelines because he's not getting enough touches and he just stops rebounding the ball. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And that is going to be a huge, huge thing. Now, he does got that upside potential to be really good, and I think he could be. I just don't think it was going to be that. I think it was a very, very low chance that happened with Phoenix. And so I understand them wanting to move on, get Nurkic, get some more depth. I understand their decision making, and I think ultimately it's going to work out. The one thing you got to say about Nurkic, he does have some injury past. It could come in back to fruition and affect our team. I think it says a lot about how this team views Drew Eubanks. Drew Eubanks is a really good player. They value him a lot. And then obviously Metu as well. He's going to be a really solid potential, third center, but could see some time if injuries happen. And then hell, even Bol could come and play center if we needed him to. So he is more of a power forward. This team, I feel like they're making the smart moves. Again, as much as I would have loved to keep Ayton and see him just absolutely go off for this team, the likelihood was that he was not going to. And I think because of that, as Suns fans, we need to just accept where we're at now. We need to accept the fact that Yusuf Nurkic is our new center. And we need to just pray that he's able to fill that role as good as he can. Because realistically, if he can fill that role, again, rebound the ball, play solid defense, rebound the offensive end as well, dunk the ball, and play good pick and roll offense, it's going to be a hard team to beat. At the end of the day, like, we just got rid of probably one of the biggest things for the Suns. Like, one of the biggest things that could potentially hold them back. We just got rid of them. Oops, sorry. And it's going to be, all I'm going to say, it's going to be a crazy-ass season. First preseason game we got in, what is that? I'm not going to even pretend to fucking count the days. It's October 8th is our first game. I'm excited. I'm so excited to see where we are at. I want to see where we're at. I want to see this team just come out firing. I mean, honestly, there's a good chance that a lot of our starters don't even play, but I want to see some of these young dudes. I want to see, you know, are we going to get to see Metu play at all? Are we going to get to see Watanabe? Are we going to get to see Grayson Allen play? Like, I want to see everyone play. This is going to be a competitive team with a lot of people competing for minutes. But I don't really, I don't have any worries with this team. The only bad thing about this trade, I think, for the Suns is that they helped Milwaukee get Damian fucking Lillard, but this team can still match them. But I don't really think I got much more to talk about. Realistically, we're not going to understand the full effects of this trade until the season actually begins. We need to actually see what happens with Nurkic and see how he plays. I'm going to be watching Ayton closely this year. I want to see how he does with Portland. I actually really hope that Ayton succeeds because I truly do love him. Like, I've always backed him, but I think at the same time, it was just time for him to go. But anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed. So I've been away for a bit on my podcasts, just again setting up the new microphone stuff, like getting the whole setup figured out. And on top of that, I wasn't at my house for a bit. I was watching someone's dogs, and I was at their house, and I just didn't have a good setup there, so I wasn't making any podcasts. My goal is to, I'm kind of switching my things up a bit. I've been doing like pre-game podcasts. I'm gonna stop doing that shit because doing like 4 podcasts in 4 days is kind of a lot. And I don't really want to do that, especially when I'm trying to balance that with school. So I'm gonna start doing, hopefully, you know, podcasts right after the ASU games, podcasts right after the Cardinals games. Or maybe not right after, but like the same day. And then get back to doing NFL podcasts either Monday or Tuesday, depending. Probably try and go Monday if I can, but at the same time I might just give myself that Monday off. But anyways, yeah, stay tuned for those podcasts. Again, Suns podcast, we'll figure out a schedule for those when the season starts up again. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed and hope you guys have a great day. Go Suns.